I was at my local Dollar Tree store and I saw this and I went, hey, a humidifier with an LED. And then I thought, wait, I bought some a year ago. I paid $3.32 for this one. It was in mailbag 36-ish. So you got 4 emitters in there. But then I took a quick look on AliExpress, and the DIY type thing, without any case, was well over $2. So if you want to play with one of these and build it into a project, you might just want to go to Dollar Tree and get it from there. I have opened this up, had to verify there was something in here. But what I will do is do up a schematic on it. And if the word schematic wasn't in the title, guess what? I wasn't able to do it. But let's just read on this thing. RGB color. The thing holds 7.39 ounces water tank. It comes with cable. Already I'm covering my cost on this one. Micro USB, which is pretty well going the way of the dinosaur. That's about it for the box. They even have instructions. Twist on cap. Open. Put water in. Hook it up to power. Okay, I think I can do that. But let's just pop this open. We've got where the mist should come out. Power button. There's the USB connection. One little spongy thing to get the water up there. And you can see in there electronics. What I'm going to do is I'm going to test this out first. Then I'll take this apart in case it's a destructive teardown. Let me go grab some water. So I've got some water. Line this thing up. There it is. Twist. Hook up the power. Okay. And turn it on. Okay, you can actually see the color there. Previously it was red. Oh, it is misting. Oh, misted. Okay, there it goes. So it does work. Well, it looks like what it does is it pulses it on for a short bit and turns it off. And it's also changing the color down here. So it does do what it says, and for $1.75, it'd just be a question of how long it lasts. Now, of course, with water for these, you're going to want to put in distilled, or if you've got really good clean water, you could use it. But if it's got minerals in it, it will plug these things up eventually. So now it's time to empty all that out and take it apart. Emptied out the water. Lots of water around electronics generally isn't the best idea. Okay, this just pulls out. And let's see how this is going to come apart. There's a clip there, clip there. Looks like there's 3 clips. So hopefully I can take this apart if I can find my spludger. So, found a spludger. Let's see if I can get in here. Nope. I'm just going to do this off camera. Took a bit, but I finally got underneath it. I don't want to destroy this thing, so there we go. Take that out of the way. And there's the circuit board. Not a lot to it, but I'll now pull this out and I'll try to do up a schematic. So here's a close-up of the board. And then when you flip it over, okay, it looks like it's a single-sided board with just the traces up here on the top. Huh, that's different. So here's obviously the on-off button, your LED, even says LED, of course, and you've got your inductive coil here, transistor there. You can't see anything on that chip, but it looks like I can get the part number off of the transistor. So I'll do up a schematic now. So here's the schematic, and yes, it's getting time, close to that time. You got the micro B coming in here. You got 5 volts on pin 1, pin 2, 3 are not connected, pin 4, 5, and case are all shorted together. So you actually have ground on this side and also on that side through the case. So capacitor 2 is basically just for smoothing for the chip, the mystery chip. So power goes in on pin 1. Power also comes over here, then through a 100 ohm resistor, comes to the surface mount LED. Try to point it out on here. There's a little notch there. That indicates where the cathode side is. So this goes blue, red, green. And then what the chip is doing through 3 pins, only one which I could trace, is going low to turn on the LED. Then, let's see, we've got the momentary. Pin 4 is connected up. You push it, it takes that down to ground. And that turns it all on. Over here, you've got this 4-pin inductor. 2 of them are going out to the piezo. 2 go to the circuit. Now, this line here goes to one of these pins, and that's actually going to be driving the N-channel enhanced MOSFET at a fairly high frequency, most likely, and that gets the piezo to vibrate quite nicely. Now, I decided to try to see if I could see what the frequency is. I'll just point this up here. Using a super fancy coil, I'm going to plug the power in. Turn it on. And then using this, see if I can actually get the frequency. 100 megahertz. This may not be the most scientifically correct way of doing it, because it also showed it around 200. Let's get it a bit tighter in there. Okay, this is coming off the inductor, 100 megahertz. I don't know if that's accurate or not. But hey, it was a quick way to do it. So that's about it for this thing. And I can reassemble it all and put it to good use. Though right now it's winter time and I do not need a humidifier because we get lots of rain here. But that's it. Mystery chip. Once you hit that, some type of microprocessor. Well, have a good day. Bye.